We got some bad news for the Murdochs and for Fox News. A judge has intervened and stopped Fox's attempts to prematurely end the Dominion lawsuit, the $1.6 billion defamation lawsuit that they're currently facing. Now, bear in mind, a judge can, if they choose to, in some cases, throw out a case entirely or grant a win to the plaintiff, and Fox was very much hoping that that's what the outcome would be. But it wasn't. Delaware Superior Court Judge Eric Davis issued his ruling rejecting Fox's attempts to end the case and granted a partial win to Dominion, which means right now that unless some sort of settlement is reached or somebody intervenes, this case will be going to court apparently sometime later this year. And the very future of Fox could potentially ride on what happens there. So understand what Fox was trying to accomplish in the early parts of this legal case. They argued that the statements that had been made on air by their hosts and by guests were protected under the First Amendment. Dominion had failed to show that the statements were made with actual malice, and that Dominion had failed to prove damages, and apparently the judge didn't buy any of those. Dominion said that Fox, quote, gave life to a manufactured storyline about Dominion rigging the election for Joe Biden when they, quote, endorsed, repeated, and broadcast a series of verifiably false yet devastating lies about Dominion. And they specifically provided evidence about 20 statements made by Fox that they argued constituted Dominion. For each of these 20, the judge found that Fox asserted their statements as facts and not opinion, which is protected speech. They were not presented as a speculation, a thought. They were articulated as facts being given by hosts, which are supposed to be able to be trusted. The judge said specifically, when viewed in the full context of the overall communication expressed during the segment, a reasonable viewer would understand that the Fox News on-air personalities are asserting facts regarding Dominion, not an opinion. As such, the court finds that the statement asserts facts and therefore not protected under the opinion privilege. Also specifically said that they were found to be lies as well. The evidence developed in the civil proceeding demonstrates that is crystal clear that none of the statements relating to Dominion about the 2020 election are true. Therefore, the court will grant summary judgment in favor of Dominion on the element of falsity. And so Fox was hoping that First Amendment, that would just be their blanket protection here. That was not the case. And look, we've seen a lot of texts and we've seen a lot of emails. We understand, as Fox understood, from the producers to the hosts to the execs, they knew they needed to tell these lies. They knew they needed to bring on people to tell these lies, specifically to not lose their audience. They reference losing subscribers on Fox Nation. They reference viewers sending social media messages of anger, going to watch Newsmax instead. The entire motivation behind what happened in the wake of the 2020 election could not be any clearer.
Okay, so by the way, I'll take a little bit of pride in, apparently we're stronger than Murdoch over here, because sometimes when people go, oh yeah, you're gonna lose subscribers, and sometimes we'll have a controversial opinion that doesn't match orthodoxy and we'll lose some subscribers. And I go like this, because our job is to bring you the truth and not to just make you happy no matter where the facts are, right? But Murdoch and the Fox News family apparently looked over and said, well, we know what's true, but we don't really give a damn because our audience doesn't want the truth, so just give them lies, right? And that's cowardly on top of greedy. Okay, so now as to the legal judgment here, look, normally surviving a motion to dismiss is not that big a deal because it's just the first part of the trial where you go, do they have a case or is this no case at all, right? So it shouldn't be that big a news story. But in this case, surviving that motion to dismiss is kind of a big deal. It's a little bit of an exception for two reasons. One is it is very easy to dismiss defamation cases. First of all, truth is a defense. So if Fox went in there and said, well, Donald Trump did win the election and Dominion did rig it, well, then that's true and then the case is dismissed, right? But what the judge is saying is, no, that is not true. Fox has shown, as is the case for Donald Trump when he went to court 60 different times and his allies after the 2020 election, they presented zero evidence that the election was stolen and that Dominion did it. So that's pretty relevant. Now they'll have to prove it again in the actual trial, and that's a huge part of it, right? And by the way, if you're a MAGA guy, you'd love that this trial is happening. You guys finally get to prove that the election was stolen. There's a golden opportunity. National case, everybody's paying attention. Everybody bring their evidence. Dinesh, make sure you talk to to Murdoch and stuff. Get him all the 2,000 mules, 4,000 mules. Bring all the mules you got,
and all the My Pillows you have.
Yeah, bring the mules and the pillows.
Get Sidney Powell in there.
Okay, yeah, and the Kraken. I didn't know that was released at some point.
Do it at Four Seasons Landscaping.
And the massive dumps. That's what Trump was talking about. Oh, got massive dumps of evidence. Perfect. You're gonna save Fox News $1.6 billion. Okay, but the second reason why it's relevant is the opinion privilege. So in this rare instance, you could, in a motion to dismiss, say, look, there shouldn't even be a trial because I said I don't like her dress. That's my opinion. Doesn't mean there's anything wrong with the dress. In which case, you could get a summary judgment. You could get a motion to dismiss because that's not defamation if it's just your opinion. And here the judge is making a definitive ruling. No, it was not your opinion. You stated it as fact. So now, look, normally, a lot of this stuff is about how much you're gonna pay in a settlement. That's what nobody tells you, okay? You think it's gonna go all the way to trial and it's Fox, and sometimes they do fight it all the way through and it can happen, especially in a case that's this public and has already gone this far. But 9 out of 10 times things settle, but the price fluctuates depending on how the trial is going and how the process is going. So when you get past a motion to dismiss, the amount that Fox News has to pay is more. It'd normally be a little bit more, but given that already Dominion has proven to the court several critical factors in this case, now it's gonna be a lot more.
It's like a huge episode of Deal or No Deal. It's exciting.
No, but it is though. That's a great analogy. It is. And so right now, Murdoch's going, God damn it. Because this decision cost him several $100 million today.
Yeah, no question it did. And whether it goes to trial or not, we don't know. But I could see Fox saying, because of what you just said, we'll pay it and be done with it.
Yeah. So and the price they're gonna pay went up by, I don't know what the number is, 100 million, 400 million,
right?
But it went up a lot today.
And they said the jury could find for as much as $1 billion in this case, which is a lot of money, even for murder.
Can't wait.
Yeah. So if it gets settled out of court and you never find out the number, which is normal, trust me that after this decision, it's gonna be high. Okay. So if you wanted Fox News hurt, they were hurt today.
Yeah.
Thanks for watching the Young Turks, really appreciate it. Another way to show support is through YouTube memberships. You'll get to interact with us more. There's live chat emojis, badges. You've got emojis of me, Anna, John, JR. So those are super fun. But you also get playback of our exclusive member-only shows and specials right after they air. So all of that, all you gotta do is click that join button right underneath the video. Thank you.